after a few days off, enjoying the final days of the group stage and, of course, the beginning of the round of 32 in Canada, we are back here on the Nick Bird Sports Network. 3 games to preview for you today. Brazil, Japan. What a outstanding game we could have right there to kick us off on this second day of the round of 32. You then have Germany, Paraguay, and then closing it out, game of the day, Netherlands-Morroco. A lot going on here, a lot to get to, so let's get after it. Welcome into the first round of 32 edition of World Cup Preview World Cup today here on the Nick Bird Sports Network. I am your host, as always, Nick Burt. Apologies for being MIA for the last few days of the group stage and the first day of the round of 32. Vacation in Toronto to watch the Senegal-Iraq game on Friday. So enjoyed some World Cup action mixed in there, but we are back. We're back until the end of this tournament, and we are already in the round of 32. Canada getting a massive 1-0 win over South Africa yesterday. Eustachio getting a goal in the second minute of second half stoppage time send Canada through to their first ever round of 16. We have 3 great games today, including the game that will decide who Canada plays on the 4th of July. We will get into that. But let's start off. We're going chronological order here. 1 p.m. kickoff. We are going to be at the Houston Stadium. It is dome environment, so weather not going to be a factor. Brazil taking on Japan. Of course, Brazil go in as champions of Group C. For Japan, they are the runners-up in Group E or F. I don't remember the groups anymore, but they only lost that group on, of course, the tiebreaker to the Netherlands. No, they tied their last game. I'm sorry. So the Netherlands won that group outright, but they did tie the Netherlands in the first game in that group. This is going to be absolutely an incredible game. Brazil finally seems to be turning into form, which is going to be absolutely massive. It's now, can Carlo Ancelotti, take what he has learned in all those club competitions he has been in and won. I'm talking Champions Leagues. I'm talking La Ligas, Serie A's, all that kind of stuff. How is that going to translate on the international stage? It looks like they might be finally unlocking Vinícius Júnior, which is absolutely incredible to see. This Japan team, though, is no slouch. They have had a very good group stage. Outside of that Sweden game, which wasn't fantastic, they knew a draw would be fine and they would be through to this game. But still, this is a interesting group of players. This is the only Asian team left in the tournament. Japan is. It's going to be interesting if they... I don't even know if there is pressure with that, but it's going to be interesting to see if they can handle any pressure with that. Very, very intriguing to see how that plays out. For Brazil, interestingly enough, every Brazilian team to score in all 3 group stage games have saw Brazil win those tournaments. That is a very interesting stat as this team kind of seems to turn into form here. It really does seem like this Brazil train is kind of picking up momentum right now. Vinícius Júnior has 4 goals. He has 1 assist. Bruno Guimarães, he's tied for the most assists in the tournament at 3. I can't say I'm not surprised. This Brazil team is looking very good. This is going to be a real test, though. We know that Brazil struggled with Morocco. Now, on the other hand, Morocco struggled with Brazil. Interestingly enough, we talked about it, the whole U.S. group, that the U.S. had played all three of those teams within a, I think it was 13 or 14 month span. Japan just played Brazil in October, and Japan got their first ever win against Brazil back in October, a 3-2 victory. Now, of course, that game was in Japan, so, you have jet lag, all that kind of stuff, but interesting enough that is a interesting factor there. I'm still taking Brazil to win this. I think Brazil is the better team, although Japan can put up a fight, and I think if Japan can push it to extra time, the more and more Brazil doesn't score, the more and more I will think Japan will win that game. Because I do believe if it goes to penalties, I don't know. I just have a feeling that Japan end up winning that, and that's like the first shock elimination of the tournament, which truly, that there may be no other shocks to top that. Very interesting how that game is going to play out. I'm going to be very excited to see that one. Moving on, 4:30 kickoff from the Boston Stadium in Foxborough. It is Germany taking on Paraguay. Now, of course, Paraguay have gone through what really wasn't truly a gauntlet of Group D. They finished in a third place spot on 4 points. The -2 goal differential is the reason they did not finish in second place in this group. I don't really know if I have much to say about this German team. I mean, they had the group locked up, and then they lost to Ecuador, and the Ecuador loss was whatever. It was what it was. I truly am not reading a ton into the Ecuador game. Truly, Ecuador was fighting for their tournament lives. Germany wasn't. Obviously, Germany is the much better team here. I am expecting them to look much better today. Now, I will say, they obviously lost to Ecuador. They struggled with Côte d'Ivoire. And the only game they looked dominating in this tournament was the Curacao game. So, theoretically, Paraguay could play a little bit of a spoiler here. I just don't see it happening. I saw that game against the U.S. where they looked outmanned, outmatched, all those things. The game against Turkey, I would say the same things. They got the goal in the second minute, and that was the only goal that mattered in that game because Turkey could not get a shot in the back of the net to save their lives. So, that played a massive factor in that. And then a 0-0 draw against Australia, which was maybe the worst game of the group stage. Germany are the better team here. I think they go on. They set up their spot to potentially face off France in the round of 32 on July 4th, which would be an absolutely incredible game. Can't wait to see how that one goes. Netherlands-Morroco, 9 p.m. kickoff from the Monterrey Stadium. This is a truly incredible match. And I am honestly, I know they haven't played well this tournament, even though they are unbeaten, Morocco. How many people are kind of just out on this team? They had the 1-1 draw against Brazil. They had a 1-0 win against Scotland and a 4-2 win against Haiti. I know this isn't the best of draws. The second place in Group C and against the Netherlands, who finished first place in whatever group it was. I, F, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, F. It's just, this is a absolutely incredible game. The results mimic each other kind of from each side. Both teams drew their first game. They then dominated their second game. I know for Morocco, a 1-0 win isn't dominating, but they controlled that game. And then the third game, another kind of dominating performance. For the Netherlands, it was a 2-2 draw against Japan, a 5-1 victory against Sweden, and a 3-1 victory against Tunisia to close out that group. My biggest worry here is going to be that heat in Monterey. I know it's a 9 p.m. Eastern kickoff, so I believe that's 7 p.m. It's 6 or 7, or it might be 8 p.m. They only may be an hour behind. I'm not up to date on my Mexico, time breakdowns, time zones. That's the word I was looking for. But I believe it's supposed to be 90 degrees there tomorrow. That weather condition, obviously much more suited for Morocco. Now for Morocco, they're unbeaten in 31 matches. That's just a crazy number to hear, just given that, national teams play anywhere from 7 to 12 games a year. So they are unbeaten in 31. I almost want to say the last time they lost was the World Cup in 22, when they lost the third place game. The Netherlands, this is an interesting team, man. They are good but not great. Brian Bobbery is having a phenomenal tournament for them up front, but you can't count on him to carry all of this weight for this team, because this team does need that help. Cody Gakpo has kind of been there. He's been having a decent tournament. Not great, not terrible, but this back line has been quite phenomenal. Denzel Dumfries, Jean Van Heck, Virgil van Dijk, and Mickey van de Ven. That has been a phenomenal back line. I believe they've only conceded 4 goals, in this tournament, with 2 of them being against Japan. The midfield does still worry me a bit, but this Netherlands team is very good. If there is any team that can beat them, though, I do think it would be Morocco, because Morocco plays just a suffocating style of football. They aren't unbeaten in 31 matches for no reason. They play a suffocating type of football that just take all the excitement out of the game, kind of, for the opposition, and just make you struggle for it for 90 or even 120 minutes. And if you remember back in 2022, when Morocco went on that run to the semifinals, a lot of that was extra time games, penalty shootouts. They drag these games on. That is going to be incredible to watch, to see if they do it again. I know they are under a new manager, obviously, since that World Cup, Mohamed Ouahabi, and that might be wise of him to use those tactics again, because that gets you places. That truly gets you places in the World Cup. This is my game of the day, by far. Far and away, my game of the day. I cannot wait for it. Nice 9 p.m. kickoff. So, it's a late night in the Netherlands and Morocco, but what a game it's going to be. I'm going to take Morocco, because truly I am shocked of how many people are just writing them off right now. I'm taking Morocco. I think the run starts again, which then this will be whoever wins this game will play Canada in Houston on July 4th. Both of them, I think, will annihilate Canada. As painful as it is for me to say, I do think Canada will get annihilated in that game. They barely got past South Africa today, but this is going to be an incredible game. I'm leaning Morocco. I'm going to pick Morocco. I will not be surprised if the Netherlands win at all. So that is going to wrap it up here for this round of 32 episode, previewing the second day of the round of 32 here at the World Cup. So thank you so much for watching. If you just stumbled across this video, click like, click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it, click the notification button, because of course we are here to preview every morning, most of the time. We'll be good on here from here on out. Recaps will become much more prominent in these later stages of the World Cup. So make sure you do that. Like I said, tell anybody you know about it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again soon for another episode here on the Nick Burt Sports Network.